A long time ago, I made a video about the max strength build in God of War Ragnarok. That video went on to become the most watched one on the channel. Thank you for that, by the way. So evidently, I had to run it back and follow with the new max strength build after the New Game Plus update. Ladies and very gentle men, you can now go way above 1000 strength, which is insane. But fun fact, every nominee chest in New Game Plus can upgrade a particular stat by 2, assuming you get every single chest on the New Game Plus run, while also making sure you get the Meign Comfort, which permanently increases every stat by 5. You could increase those stats by at least 10 per run. So let's say a very crazy person decided to beat the game 50 times for some very odd reason. Well, that means that they would have had permanently increased every stat by 500. Obviously, I am not that crazy, yet. But yeah, depending on how many times you complete the game, your stats will just keep increasing. Now let me ask you a question. How much strength is too much strength? The right answer is there is no such thing as too much strength. But listen, God of War has soft caps for every single stat. Vitality, runic luck and cooldown may scale somewhere around 400, while strength and defense may scale a bit higher at 600. It means that when you keep increasing those stats past their respective threshold, you get diminishing returns. So again, how much strength is too much strength? 1000. 1000 strength is overkill and you're better off investing your points in some other stats. So I lied to you. This video was about the 1000 strength build, but I came to realize that it was not optimal or viable. But rest assured, I would hook you up with a better deal, a way better deal. This build is more oppressive than the luck build and more damaging than your typical max strength build. I call it the Realm Destroyer build. Do I really need to name everything? No, but it helps organizing those builds since we have too many to play with. So, what exactly do you need for this build? Well, there was a secret buff in Ragnarök which could be activated upon equipping one achievement from every realm. But in New Game Plus, you get a better version of this buff by equipping all 9 enchantments dropped by the new Berserkers. And to activate the buff, you just have to trigger your rage and voila! For 5 seconds, you did more damage and your rage gain is also increased. On top of that, you also get Realm Shift for 4 seconds. But it gets better. As long as you have all those enchantments equipped, every time you trigger Realm Shift with a Relic or simply by dodging with the Gauntlets of Radiance, you will benefit from the buff. That is truly magical. I guess the secret buff is not so secret now, huh? And if for some reason you are still not sold on the build, let's see how it performs in practice. Every time you activate your rage, the enemy is going to be staggered. I chose to use the Fury Spartan Rage as it makes it easier to take advantage of the buff. You just activate it, hit the enemy once and immediately deactivate it. It is very effective, but there is the possibility that you eventually run out of rage. Actually, that's very unlikely. Permafrost Immolation and Maelstrom also increase the amount of rage you gain, and you can significantly get more rage by using the Blade's runic attack while Immolation is active, for example. And to further boost the rage gain by 10%, I decided to use the Fatebreaker Gauntlet. This build is exactly the one you would use for a max strength build, minus the little tweaks I made here and there to make it more appealing. For my shield, I decided to use an attachment to reduce the cooldown of my abilities every time I perform a parry or interrupt Blue Ring's attacks, and I chose to use Realm Shift as my relic to take advantage of the 9 realms buff. You can activate the relic multiple times depending on how much you parry, but you also want to use that window to replenish your rage. The last modification I made was for the chest armor. I personally prefer using Zeus's chest armor since it gives you 40% more melee and runic damage, but you need to defeat Gna in order to acquire the chest armor in the first place, which is a bummer. So in case you didn't defeat her yet, the Berserker or Fatebreaker chest armor will do just fine. Overall, I just took a tiny bit of your strength and turned it into something truly evil. If you play your cards right, the enemy will never have time to do anything since they are always staggered by your rage. This is somewhat of a Rem shift build without being a Rem shift build, and in my opinion, a better compromise to having 1000 strength. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like, and if you loved it, consider subscribing to the channel for more God of War related stuff. I'm Jisoo, and I hope you appreciate this footage of Gna being bullied by a very angry Kratos. Peace.
Let's good. I'll see you for what you've done. Don't you see it's over? There's no need for this.
Careful, brother. It's covered in bifrost.